Welcome back to another episode of 10 Minutes with Nick, where I yammer for 10 minutes about things that are occurring to me in the moment or things that have occurred to me and that I've planned out ahead of time. There's no way for you to know. All the thoughts will be equally scattered and unrelenting. On today's episode of 10 Minutes with Nick, I'm going to talk about both the importance of positive self-talk and the importance of actually vocalizing the feelings of disappointment sometimes. Why is it important? Well, we'll start with why is it important to vocalize feelings of disappointment. And now, clarification, I have no psychology degree. I understand nothing about the brain because the brain is a complicated organ within the body. It controls everything. Apologies for that echo. It controls everything. So, when you are and I froze for a moment there. Not actually internet connection froze, but my brain froze because I was trying to make sense of a few thoughts at the same time. Here's the thing to remember about the brain. It is incredibly mysterious and incredibly powerful. We know where different areas map out in the brain. That's not mysterious, but we underestimate the power of the human brain in adapting to and interpreting conditions around us. So when you look at something and you get disappointed in something, let's say you get disappointed in your career, or you get disappointed in, I don't know, you get disappointed in how you did in pickup basketball, anything. Your brain has a habit of amplifying your disappointment. Not because you're necessarily clinically depressed or have an associated mental issue, but simply because if you don't get your thoughts out, your brain turns into an echo chamber. At the same time, when you vocalize those thoughts, they tend to die down a little bit because it's no longer just sitting inside your head. It's bouncing around in the real world, and you can hear it out loud and you can address it. Let's take an example. I am an actor, and there are many days where I come home from like acting class or something, or I put down an audition, and I'm just like, I wasn't feeling it. Screwed it up. Thinking about a scene I did last night. I got done with that scene and felt absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, just, I screwed this scene up. I feel like crap. And it was hurting me. Like, it was sitting in my head, and it was really amping up. Like, why can't I get this scene right? What the hell is going on with me? Why couldn't I drop into this character? Because I've done the scene before and I've done well with it. And it wasn't dropping in. And it wasn't until I said what I was actually feeling out loud that I started to come to kind of a resolution of it. Because I said out loud, not just bounced around in my head, I said, God, I felt like crap coming out of that scene. And my coach made a good point. The scene is designed to make you kind of feel crappy. Not because it's, much better actors than me could sit down, play this part, and of course just knock it out of the park. Not saying that this is some sort of like, oh my God, I'm the best actor on the planet. No. What I'm saying is the emotional journey of the scene was one in which my character really got abused. He goes on to a talk show, and he's talking about this experience he had, this otherworldly experience, and he's trying to convince the world around him that this actually happened because he has an important message to deliver from God, is who he thought he talked to. But nobody believes him. And yet he still has to go through, and he still has to make these attempts. He has to still have this conversation with everybody, and he has to have this conversation over and over again with people who just don't believe him, and who think not only they don't believe that he talked to God, but that he was, even worse, that he's some sort of criminal. It's a good play. Neil LaBoote's Break of Noon. I would recommend it. But you come out of the scene, and we come out of the place we're at the scene, and it only gets worse, but it's a little bit emotionally taxing. And so when I said it out loud, I could actually sort through with my coach. Okay, have you thought that maybe the scene is actually just designed to make you feel like crap? Oh, I feel fake coming out of the scene. Why do I feel fake coming out of the scene? Well, because I'm being made to feel fake in the scene. So an honest performance is going to end up with you feeling not good. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel like, you're going to feel like the world is against you, because in the scene, the world is against you. And so you have to say those things out loud. And once you say them out loud, you can address them head on, which is what we were able to do. And it hasn't bothered me since. Which dovetails into, once you say something like that out loud, I would highly recommend saying positive things out loud. Saying positive things out loud is something I'm very, very not good at. And why am I not good at it? Well, for the simple reason that I'm just not. Just not. But in the same way that your brain will amplify negative messaging, the power of the brain, if you feed it positive messaging, it will amplify that. And some people are able to do it through meditation, and some people do it through yoga, other spiritual practices. You don't vibe with any of that. It's as simple as just saying, I am thankful today. Just that. Don't even pick something you're thankful for. Just say, I am thankful. I'm glad. Try not to lie to yourself. If you're not happy, you don't have to say I'm happy. But you can say out loud, I am sad. Why am I sad? Even though I'm sad, I'm still grateful. And once you've said those things out loud, your brain does a really good job of, instead of holding on to sadness, it does a really good job of dumping that out. And then that allows the next piece of information to come to the surface. Perhaps, why am I sad? And then if you say, I am grateful, your brain holds on to that a little bit. Oh, wow, I really am grateful. And your brain doesn't care. It doesn't care what it's grateful for. It's just nice to be, it just knows that it's grateful. And you'll start to come up with reasons, even if you don't feel particularly grateful when you start saying it. I am grateful. You don't have to say I'm happy, but you can always be grateful for something. I ate food today. If you haven't eaten food today, I woke up. And if you didn't wake up today, you're on to other things. And you're not listening to this podcast anyway. God, that was dark. I did not like that. Negative speech. But I'm glad I was able to record it so the internet can laugh at me. Positive speech. Now my brain's just confused. And so this is a good time to stop. That was 10 minutes with Nick. Thanks for sitting with me. I'll see you next time for a little more of this nonsense.